In May 2011, the US Special Forces carried out a contained attack on an ISI safe house in Abbottabad, Pakistan, where the Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden was hiding. The US Navy SEALs were at the compound for less than 40 minutes. The mission was a success. Osama and his accomplices were all killed. In June 2015, a team of 70 Indian Army commandos went into the jungles of Myanmar. They killed 38 dreaded Naga militants and injured 7 in a 40-minute operation. Such missions are called surgical strikes. I'm sure we all have heard this term recently in the context of ongoing India-Pakistan discord over Kashmir. But what is a surgical strike? And did India actually carry out a surgical strike on Pakistani targets? Let's find out. A surgical strike is a precision military attack carried out by entering another country with the intention of damaging a specific target. Unlike war, surgical strikes are meant to avoid collateral damage to surrounding civilization and areas. These strikes are well planned and executed with high-performance weaponry and special forces. So, are they always a success? No, not every time. In 1993, the US Special Forces mission to capture Somali warlord Mohammed Farah Aidid went horribly wrong after 2 Black Hawks were shot down. This left 18 soldiers dead and more than 70 wounded. The operation was sorely unsuccessful because Aidid managed to flee. While the operation was unsuccessful, it went on to become a popular book and movie, Black Hawk Down, which was released in 2001. Now, talking of last year's events, on 29 September 2016, a military confrontation between India and Pakistan began. The Indian Army claimed that it had conducted surgical strikes against suspected militants in Pakistan who were preparing to conduct strikes inside Jammu and Kashmir and in various metros in other states. India called its operation as preemptive self-defense action against terrorism, attacking terrorist infrastructure along with those who were trying to support them. The operation began with Indian forces firing artillery across the frontier to provide cover for 3 to 4 teams of 70 to 80 commandos from Para Special Forces 4 and 9. According to army sources, the Special Force teams travelled around 3 kilometers on foot and began destroying the terrorist bases with handheld grenades and 84mm rocket launchers. The teams then swiftly returned to the Indian side of the line of control, suffering only one casualty, a soldier who was wounded after tripping a landmine. Pakistan, however, rejected these claims, stating that Indian troops had only engaged in cross-border firing upon Pakistani soldiers, killing 2 of them and wounding 9. Analysts say that India's operation is better characterized as a cross-border raid because surgical strikes involve striking deep into the enemy territory and typically using air power, which could consist of para-dropping special forces behind the enemy lines, carrying out airstrikes on the specific targets that are deep inside the enemy territory, where sending troops can be risky, conducting strikes by unmanned aerial vehicles or drones. After the invention of laser-guided bombs, it has become really easy for the air units of any air force to carry out these operations. Since Indian military did not use any of the 3 means, the analysts may be right. However, a majority in the country still likes to believe that they were surgical strikes. Irrespective to what they actually were, the terrorist activity has seemed to have reduced remarkably, almost ceased since then. And that's a good sign. What do you think?